evening, everybody, and welcome to our weekly Wednesday podcast, Ramp Real Access Motivates Progress. We are very excited to have you all with us tonight, and we have a wonderful show ahead of you tonight. I have three wonderful guests from Rhode Island Healthy Aging, and we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that you can get involved in our small state of Rhode Island. So welcome, everybody, and thank you for being on the podcast tonight.
Thanks for having us, Tina.
Yeah, delighted.
We'll start with you, Catherine. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you, your title, and what you do?
Sure, thank you. I am the Executive Director of Age Friendly Rhode Island, which is an initiative of Rhode Island College, and we are funded by the Tufts Health Plan Foundation. And we are a coalition of state agencies and nonprofits and individuals and faith-based communities and academia and artists and people of all walks of life who are interested in making Rhode Island a great place to grow older. And shall I keep going?
Yeah,
or should you want to move on?
Nope. Go ahead. Tell us everything you have.
Sure. So I just started in this job at the beginning of January, and we were doing all kinds of things that really involved getting people together. And we aren't sort of direct service folks. We're in the business of getting people together to sort of spur change. And then the pandemic hit. And, normally we would get together in these groups that loosely sort of correspond to the World Health Organization's domains of livability. So we have a transportation subgroup, and we have a healthcare group, and we have a communications group, and a housing group, and a healthcare group, and a civic engagement group. And suddenly, none of these things made sense anymore at all. So as everyone was trying to figure out, as we locked down, how to reach people who might be isolated and how to deliver food, our groups got together all at once to try to figure out what our coalition could do during the pandemic to help. And there are a couple of things that came out of it, but one was we looked at community centers, senior centers, agencies that normally would provide programming all day for folks to get together, and who are now all hands on deck with emergency needs being met, just wellness checks, friendly phone calls, food delivery, and there's nothing for anybody to do anymore. Everybody's schedule was canceled. So our funder actually released us from all of our deliverables from our grant because they said, it's an emergency. There's need out there, figure out what it is and meet it. So we took a step back and realized what Age Friendly and our coalition could do right now to be helpful, and where there was a gap is to provide virtual programming for people who are now stuck at home and we can't get out and have in-person experiences. So we and this is something now that can be borrowed by all of our community partners, senior centers and other community centers, and take the programming and put it right on their websites. We take no ownership. Everything is free. And so we began the virtual community center, and you can get on it even if you're listening right now on our website, agefriendlyri.org. The VCC is right on the landing page, and we have a full daily schedule of free activities that run the gamut from, we're going to talk about dance and laughter yoga in a minute, two of our very best programs from the beginning, but there are fitness classes, and there are gardening lectures, and there are virtual tours of the State House. There's information about finances. We have Financial Fridays. There's just so much there, and we're always taking suggestions. What do people want to see there to keep bodies healthy and minds sharp and spirits high as we lock down once, and we're about to do that again. And so kind of moving on to my colleagues who are here on the show, the very first two people I reached out to, because I thought these are two of the best things I think anybody in Rhode Island could do in the darkest times, but certainly all the time, are Rachel Balaban to bring us Dance for All People and Larry O'Brien to bring us Laughter Yoga, which I know they'll describe. But we are so excited that they give their time and talent to the people of Rhode Island to, be healthy and happy and have a full life when things are so tough.
Yeah, it's amazing now everything that you do, and we're able to adopt everything with the whole COVID and made it fully accessible, because the people like me who are in wheelchairs who couldn't get out and get into a lot of things, now we have it all right here on our computer, things that people told us that could never be possible to be done. And here we are, was done within months, and everybody's doing it. So now everybody's as cool as the disability community. That's the way I look at it anyway. They finally all get to be cool like me.
No, I think that's
Rachel,
exactly true.
Yeah. Rachel, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Sure. So I am, in order chronologically, I was born, no, I'm teasing. I started teaching, I started teaching dance for Parkinson's disease at Connecticut College in 2009. And fast forward, I saw it was really incredible. And I wanted to live outside of the dance studio, that I thought there was more to gain from this. And so I approached my alma mater, Brown University, and in 2013 started a program we called Artists and Scientists as Partners, really to investigate how and why this mechanism of art, could really impact people's health and well-being. So, for 8 years now, we've got this amazing program. Students, most of whom will become doctors, are in the dance studio with me teaching. Now we called it Dance for All People, because we aren't limiting it to people with Parkinson's disease. We've seen that Parkinson's really is a window into early aging, and that everyone can benefit from dance. So we're not only seeing it from the experiential level and the kind of just the observational level, but we're doing research at the same time. And so I teach academically at Brown, but I teach about 5 dance classes a week. And what happened was, I know Catherine and I were on schedule to have a chat as soon as she got this position. It was like, okay, we really have to talk about what we can do. And COVID hit. And one of the beauties of COVID, and I can't believe there are too many, although each day I seem to find something to be optimistic about, was that we jumped right from in-studio teaching to Zoom. And what I will say about participants who come to our dance class is they are motivated. People with movement challenges, and that's who this class really is geared for. It's geared for all people, but we particularly want to encourage people who find moving difficult, and we want them to see and experience the joy in their own bodies that they can access through music and movement. And we've also added this intergenerational component, which I'll be happy to talk about later. I don't want to take too much time in the beginning here, but it's a core element of our program now, is really making this a multi-generational endeavor. But we had participants transfer immediately to the Zoom platform. And I'm talking about a 90-year-old participant of ours. And in some cases, I have a woman in her late 80s who's kind of the tutor for newcoming people, newcoming Zoom users. So we saw that an advantage that we actually had now is that we could access people in their homes who, for whatever reason, were not able to get to the studio with us. Our class was on Brown's campus, which, as anyone in the Providence area, anywhere on the east side knows, parking, driving, walking from the parking to the dance studio, all present incredible challenges. And we now have this opportunity to hit people. I now have people who at one point would come to 1 class a week. Some of them are coming to 3 and 4 classes a week. And one of our participants moved to Scotland. She's Scottish, and she's Zooming in from Scotland. It works for her time zone. So what we've seen is that this dance class, which has provides so much for people, it's on a physical level, on the emotional level, on the cognitive level, on the creative side, and certainly on the psychosocial side of things, that we don't have to stop because we can't be together. And although we would prefer to be with each other, we have found great community, and both in our student population, our Brown undergraduates, and in our older population, each constituent is saying, this dance class provides them with an anchor, a sense of time and of place and of purpose. And it's what keeps them coming back each week. So it's not only this sense of what they're doing to them for themselves physically, but this community sense of belonging is really, really powerful. So
I have to attest.
I can talk
I
more.
was a dancer. Yeah. I was a dancer my whole life, and 6 years ago, I ended up in a wheelchair. And I'll tell you, I still dance from my wheelchair because I'll tell you, it makes you feel happy. It makes you feel good. It just gives you, like, I totally get it. But yeah, I know how Brown is very inaccessible because I work with a lot of the students on senior projects and stuff like that for accessibility. So I know on a regular day-to-day, no COVID, how inaccessible the streets around Brown are. Especially when the handicap parking lot is on a hill like this, and you're supposed to exit and not go down the hill at the same time. It's a fun on balance, so it's all good. But Larry, why don't you tell us a little bit about you and what you do?
Well, Tina, first of all, I don't know what your shows are usually like, but there are at least 50% of the people in this call in wheelchairs. I'm in a wheelchair too. So
yeah,
but laugh yoga, I have been a laugh yoga teacher for about 5 years. Laugh yoga is a practice created in 1995 by a doctor in India named Madan Kataria, who was a medical doctor, and his wife Madhuri, who was a yoga teacher. So he was doing research into the benefits of laughter, and he found there were so many that he decided to start a laugh club. So they got together and they tried telling jokes, and they ran out of jokes in a day and a half, you're out of jokes. So he went and thought about it and said, okay, we're going to do proactive laughter. And he made it up. He created they do is in laugh yoga, we do a series of activities to provoke laughter. They don't have to be. We don't tell jokes. We do different activities through which we laugh, and as you know how laughter is, it's contagious. So it ends up with a lot of people laughing a lot of the time, which is what it's about. The benefits he found, as with I bet dance, it raises dopamine levels, which I think probably dancing does too, because it's really good for Parkinson's. But it raises serotonin levels. It increases, it releases endorphins, oxygenates the body. And it's just, and for people like you and me who are in a wheelchair, it's an excellent exercise. You laugh for 40 minutes and it's as good as, 20 minutes at treadmill. So they say. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've been on a treadmill.
Hey, I put my wheelchair on a treadmill and I do lots of miles every day and I don't even break a sweat. It's great. See, and I can benefit from laughter because when I fall out of my chair, I can benefit from my own laughter and laugh at myself because it's on a daily basis.
That is
chasing my dog. Yeah.
That's an excellent example.
I chase my dogs around the house and they stop and I don't, and we both end up on the floor, and it is what it is, but it makes the body feel good. It gives you purpose. It gives you, it just changes your whole mood. When you get up and you can laugh at yourself and make fun of yourself, I mean, it just truly changes your whole spirit. Catherine, why don't you tell us about some of the people who have bought into all of this and are really benefiting from this program?
Sure. It's expanded way beyond what we initially thought, because we were really thinking about, sort of community dwelling older adults who normally were sort of out and about and sort of things had stopped. And we have all kinds of folks who, in that sort of situation who have been really enjoying things like the virtual tour of the State House or our partnership with the RISD Museum. But there are so many other people, who've always been isolated in one way, shape, or form, that there are all kinds of applications here. So, for example, and Dance for All People and Laughter Yoga are perfect examples. But we also have a lot of other offerings for people with dementia, like the Memory Cafe. So that if people, folks in that situation are really finding their way to us, and really all abilities in all situations. So we really weren't thinking in terms of people in long-term care facilities, but there's an application there too, or say, in an adult day center where now folks are starting to be able to go there again, but you don't want to bring extra people into the facility. You don't want to bring a presenter. So
Right.
They can put up a widescreen TV and put on our programming, and the group can do Laughter Yoga or Rachel's program there. And we're even going to have a partnership with the Alzheimer's Association Caregivers Journey Conference, where they would normally, when caregivers come together, about 600 of them, they would have the option of bringing their loved one that they take care of to the conference, and they would be in a respite room with some great activities, and so the caregiver could go to the conference. This year, we're all going to offer, Age Friendly Rhode Island is going to offer a respite Zoom. So we're going to have all kinds of things happening during the day on Zoom for them. So, I think it's really any time that an in-person experience isn't possible for us for whatever reason, if it's sleeting outside and you don't trust your driving, or you're scheduled too tightly and you really want that half-hour exercise class, which we have one every morning at 10 with Blue Cross. They sponsor it, but you just you're not going to be able to get to the gym, but you can fit it in online, or all those things are going to be possible for people now going forward. Now, I will say who's not finding us. We also realized early on, as we were meeting as a large coalition, that now that we're all having our community and basically functioning, doing everything we do in life in these little squares on Zoom, we just, when I see anybody from the neck down after this is all over, I won't recognize anybody. But there are still, right? Just these talking heads. But there are a number of people who are not connected to the internet for a whole host of reasons. And we've realized that we've had to redefine a livable community, an age-friendly community, completely differently when community is right in the little squares. And so access to reliable and affordable internet, access to devices, access to tech training, digital literacy, tech support, confidence, programming, as we've been talking about, that's really important. And also, human connection, how are you going to stay in touch with people? And how are you even going to make new friends during the pandemic, which I didn't think at the beginning was a possibility, but I found, luckily, it actually is really possible, but you have to be connected. And so that's another thing that we've really taken on at Age Friendly Rhode Island with our broad connectivity, is to advocate and try to, help spur projects that make all of those things happen, so that we can really bring everybody into the virtual world to participate and make the virtual world truly accessible, so they can participate in offerings like we have to offer.
I think that's great. And give me that website one more time, just so that everybody has it in the forefront.
agefriendlyri.org. And you will see as you play around on there, that we do have a lot of tutorials right there on our virtual community center, so that you can learn how to get a Zoom account and do that. Even it's like sign up for Netflix and have a movie party with your friends, and how to do a Gmail account, and on and on and on. One of the glorious things, and this goes to what Rachel was saying about intergenerational programming, is we've had a marvelous partnership with my host institution, Rhode Island College, and the University of Rhode Island, who've offered tons of students, especially at URI through the Cyber Seniors program, to help help people who are not technologically savvy, gain the skills and support them. So that's another thing we have on our site is tons of tech support. We have a drop-in time on Mondays with one of our URI seniors or cyber seniors where people can show up with all their tech questions, and they're developing all these tutorials for us. And there are all over the site places where you can write us notes, and the email address would be info@agefriendlyri.org. If there is a program you would like to see that we aren't offering, or something could be improved or made more accessible, we want to hear about it, because it's a dynamic site and we are adding things and forming more partnerships and getting some support from some corporate partners to do more programming in Spanish. We have a few offerings in Spanish. We want to augment that. So that's some other stuff that's happening.
Yeah. One of the things that I
use out of the site, Catherine.
Yeah. One of these things that I really like.
I said I don't think I'm getting enough use out of the site. Mostly I just go on and leave Laugh Yoga, but it sounds like I could get a lot more out of it if I paid attention.
Yeah, you got to come to some of our other stuff.
All right.
Sometimes I schedule things that
Yeah, one of the things I really like about one of the things I really like about the program is it's called age friendly, which means it's any age, it's any ability. Because I know, before when I first became disabled, you didn't want to go to all of the senior stuff because you didn't want to be the youngin, you know what I mean, with all of the older people, and you didn't want to interfere on their avenue. You wanted to have, but age friendly is for all ages, all abilities, and when people are working together in any age just becomes a number. And it doesn't matter anymore. Do you find that, Rachel, and what you do with the dance, that age is just the number?
It is amazing. When this first happened, we had to go to Zoom, and we were still in our academic course, and then school ended, and I teach year round. I had a lot of students continue on because they wanted this. They needed something like this. And their conversations, which were required during the school year as part of their academic work, continued. They would call them, they would Zoom with them. And I absolutely feel that age becomes a non-issue when you're engaging in an art form like this and just connecting on a human level. And we always talk a little bit before class, but even more at the end of class. And the conversations are so rich. They share ideas and recipes and favorite movies and books, and age just really dissolves. It just is not the issue. And I also think each age group or all age group really feels enriched by the experience of being with others like that.
Yeah. We could all learn from each other, because I know even doing my podcast and with my organization RAMP, the younger people learn from the older people, and the older people learn from the younger people, and everybody just kind of blends together, and it becomes one big, wonderful world, as I like to call it, the purple world, where the red and the blue come together, and it's not in existence anymore, and we all turn purple, and we all, have the happy day. But age turns like that for me, because I know the younger kids learn from the older people, and vice versa. And they actually have real world conversations where people would not in a normal world have that interaction, that I think Zoom brought us closer together in a very odd way. I don't think I put pants on since March, but no one sees that. So I live in my funky pajama bottoms, but it's okay. And I've learned so much from so many people.
I'm always trying to reach out to fill in the younger generation into this class, because I think it's a natural for older people to come to this. And so I've got students from Salve, students from Brown, and I don't have Connecticut College now, but I would love URI and Rhode Island College, and it could be high school students too, but it seems like, college students may have a little more flexibility, but I think it's just it's a great opportunity, I think, for them to move themselves and to engage with a population that's not normally done. And they see
Right.
how beautiful it is when it's done. So yeah, I'm going to put that out too, along with the website information. All ages welcome.
Well, you should definitely reach out to a lot of the high schools, because a lot of the high schools need volunteer hours. And this is a good way for them to interact and connect and take that scariness out of actually being in a room where they're kind of uncomfortable. It takes the scariness out, because I know I do that a lot. Larry, are you seeing a lot of all ages in your laughter yoga groups?
Laughter yoga, my groups, I would say, between college-age people and septuagenarians like me. But one thing I found on Zoom, I am now part of a regular Tuesday group that with people from London, Uruguay, New Zealand, just all over the world, and we're getting together on Zoom, and you're laughing with. I'm finding I'm laughing with people that from all over the world. It's kind of geographically crazy, but that's fun. But anybody any age would benefit from laughing. But I think it's mostly. I think you have to be a certain. I don't know. You got to be a certain degree of. You have to have a certain maturity to laugh at stupid stuff.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I found me funny at every age, so I don't know about that. But I bet you a lot of people look forward to those special groups that are at a certain time, that you look forward to your friends signing on, and you look forward to that connection that you make. You know what I mean? Especially when you got people from all over the world. Now you're learning all different cultures and all different time zones and all different places. I mean, I just think it made our big, beautiful world smaller, for we all can be connected, and we can all learn so much from everybody else. I'm just amazed with something that they've told us for so long that cannot be done. You can't work from home. You can't go to school from home. You can't, do all of it. And within a month, the entire world pretty much was doing it. So I just hope it continues on later on, because I just think it's an amazing experience for everybody. What are some of the most important?
I was just going to say really quickly, I'm pretty positive I will always offer a Zoom dance class now. I mean, when we can go back into the studio, I will do that. But I think the opportunities this affords people is too vast to close the door on it. So I'm quite certain I will always have at least one dance class a week. And then, the studio is wide open. There's no limit to the number, but I know there will always be some form of a Zoom dance class going forward.
I think
I hope so many people will take that on. Yeah. And Larry, I believe laugh yoga probably benefits
a lot, because you can see people laughing. People are sitting in front of you laughing, and the way and that's the way, and that feeds it feeds your own laughter. It feeds their laughter. Everybody's. It's crazy how it works. It works pretty good.
Yeah. I love it. He's got a contagious laugh.
Oh, it's the best. Tina, you were talking about bringing people together from all over the world, but think about how we are as Rhode Islanders. No one even wants to cross a bridge. So I have one of our participants, who's a woman in her 80s, lives in Jamestown, and she said, "Wow, I was not going to drive to Providence to go to the RISD Museum. I was not going to drive to Providence to go on a Capitol tour, but now I can go because I don't have to leave my house, and it's great." So
yeah.
I think it works for our funny attitude in Rhode Island too.
I always get a kick out of the Rhode Island mentality. I mean, we're the only state that you can do the whole state sightseeing in 45 minutes. Nothing is far in Rhode Island. But to some people, you want me to go where? like it's 15 minutes down the road. Really, it's not that far. You know what I mean?
Right,
But I just
right.
love the Rhode Island mentality of that. But I do. I believe it brings a whole, and I really hope people continue this when the world opens again. Because as I say to most people, everybody is getting a small glimpse into the disability community. You guys can't go to restaurants that we can't go to. You can't go into places that we can't go to. But when the world opens up, you will be able to. There will still be places that will be inaccessible to us. That this is amazing, and let us in. You know what I mean? Now that you made friends with us, now you're going to want us to be more involved with you. So I just think it's so good for everybody. I love Larry's laugh.
I'm listening to you talk, and I'm thinking that for me personally, I mean, just to get out of the house sometimes and lead a laugh group sometimes is the pain in the neck for me, And now, like you say, it's just easier for me and easier for anybody else that wants to participate. It's way easier. It's way easier with a disability to laugh on a call than it is to drag your butt over to to Brown University and up the hill and down the hill, and oh my God.
With something like dance, sorry. I was just going to say.
No, it's true. Go ahead.
Dance, is tactile. It's physical. Touch is a huge part of what we do. And I will not deny that I miss that. And I think people with Parkinson's, people with disability, to be touched is important. I think there's a whole element that is literally touched when you touch. It's another world awakens, and so we don't have that. And we all miss that terribly. And so I will rush back into the dance studio when it's possible, and we will have people in wheelchairs, and this will all happen again. But I must say that I was saying this to Kyle, the producer of our program, that it took a little time to get people to come to this class, because all of my other Zoom classes are classes that existed before COVID. So they knew me, they knew each other. There was a transfer. With this course, we've started from nothing. And so people are coming in to try it and see and we are developing this incredible intimacy in our class. And I had a gentleman today, and you always question, is this as powerful for people who've never met me in person or met the others in our class in person as it is for our longtime classes? And a gentleman today said to me, Rachel, I take a lot of Zoom classes, a lot of dance Zoom classes, and this is the only class that gives me goosebumps. And I thought, I've never had that compliment. And I think that is probably about the highest compliment I've ever received. I've received, people get very elaborate and say how much this means to them, and that's lovely. But to say he got goosebumps through Zoom, to me, it says that we can do this. We can fight through this layer and be touched in just different ways.
What kind of dance do you do, Rachel?
Come take my class next Wednesday.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, Larry, you've got to go.
I will go. What do you do?
Larry? We do a little ballet, jazz, tap, modern. We do salsa. We do tango. We do a little bit of everything. But you can take the entire class seated, and you will not miss a thing. It's all modified, and you can stay in your chair the entire time. Typically, the class is in a chair anyway for about 5/8 of the class. And then I stand up, but I usually, hopefully, have someone who remains seated so you can pin that person's square and watch them for the seated version. So it's all accessible. It's all modification, but it's expressive.
Well, that's great, because I can't stand, so doing it from seated is perfect for.
Yep. And we laugh a lot too. We do laugh a lot, Larry. I just don't get to hear them because I've got them muted because I'm teaching. So I miss their laughter. I laugh at myself all the time.
It's a gift.
It is.
That sounds great.
Catherine, Catherine, you said all the programs are free. Is there anything that is a cost to anybody or anything that they have to worry about? Or is there financial helping to anything that has a cost to it?
No, it was really, really important to us when we built this that everything to people coming to the virtual community center is free. And we don't even link to something like there might be a really great author book reading that we find, because we find a lot of things out in the world too that we then bring to our center and link there. But if there's going to be like even a nominal like $10 ticket charge, we don't put it on. It's things are inaccessible enough as it is, so cost needs to be not an issue. So most of the programming that we have, our coalition partners just generously donate it or provide it, and we do have some grant funding. So we use some of ours, but we've also been awarded some funding from Blue Cross and from Verizon to support some new programming when we've got artists and other presenters who really need to make a living. We want to support them too. So we're building that up too, so we can bring more paid programming on. But say, for example, the RISD Museum, it's generally pretty expensive to go there. And they reached out to us to say they wanted to partner with us on our virtual community center. And they are offering these wonderful sort of webinars and tours of their collections for free because they want to be a good age-friendly partner and be of service to Rhode Islanders during this really difficult time. So no, people have asked us whether we should, do sort of subscriptions or, sell tickets or things like that to keep the center sustainable. But to me, that totally defeats the purpose. This really needs to be a statewide public resource.
That's amazing.
So
and
great.
I have a couple of people that I want to hook you up with. One of our new partners with Ramp, we just picked up Drums Alive, and that is an incredible program. Yeah, so I want to hook you up with that. And we also partner up with Gallery Night. So they're fully accessible now. I've been on their trolley, but they could make that all virtual too for other people and for the artist shows and stuff. So Ramp has a lot of organizations that we want to partner with you and offer more things to more people, because we're stronger together and none of us can do it alone. And the more of us that work together and share ideas and share people, we're just benefiting everybody. And I don't like it when people are like, oh, that's my idea. No, we don't lay claim to anything. We share every idea that we have, and working together just helps more people, more Rhode Islanders, more people throughout the country, more people throughout the state.
Right. The sharing is really important. Yeah, I was going to say, so the sharing is really important, and that's when as I said, the senior centers and other community centers had to sort of stop their in-person programming. Now, some of them are bringing a little bit back. Some of them have a little bit of their own virtual, but we're supposed to be a resource for them too. We provide technical support, so they can take all of our whole calendar, or they can pick and choose a couple of things they think their community will want and just take it and put it on their website. No one has to know it even came from us, as long as the community is finding their way to the programming that they want. Again, we don't have pride of authorship. We just want people to be engaged. And I would say too, one of the sort of methods to our madness when we built this, remember March 13th. And for the next few days, we spent all of our time, right? That was the day when the curtain came down, and we just spent the next few days crossing things out in our calendars and erasing stuff until suddenly, we might have had these busy few months ahead of us, and there was nothing in it. And people would talk about how they didn't know what day it was. They woke up in the morning and they didn't know what to do. And even worse to me is, not only were people missing things like being able to go to the movies or have coffee with a friend, the phrase they would use, they missed looking forward to that. There was nothing to look forward to because the calendar was empty. So when you go on our website and you go to the calendar, you can zoom out. It's very busy, but you'll see the full calendar. Every day is full of stuff. And then when you look at each day, even if if we found something that you could just do anytime because it's recorded, we put things with a schedule at the time of day, even if it's not live. So you can wake up in the morning and go, okay, what's my schedule for the day? And if you don't have one, then we've got that structure for you. So these are really important things for us to give Rhode Islanders psychologically during this time too. That won't always be the case when the pandemic goes away. Then we can probably alter the structure. But right now, people are finding that really, really helpful.
Yeah. Just don't alter it too much, because like I said, there's so many of us that will welcome that even after the fact, especially with the winter months coming, and I'm in a power wheelchair. Power wheelchair and snow do not like each other at all. Just saying.
No,
So yeah,
a quarter of an
yeah,
inch of snow. A quarter of an inch of
Yeah.
snow is a snow day for me.
yeah. It's horrible. People don't realize, you know what I mean? They're like, everything's shoveled. Yeah, it's not shoveled. And where do they put the snow? In the handicap parking spots, because where else are you going to put it, right?
The bastard.
I love his laugh. It's amazing. All right, Larry, we're going to start with you because we're nearing the end of our hour. Give us everything that you want people to know and remember about what you do and how important this is during this time.
Okay, everybody, I want us four, look directly into your camera on the count of three. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I love him.
All right, I'm going to show you. There's a few exercises. I'm going to show you. I have 7 grandchildren. My oldest one is 8, and the youngest one is 1. And I'll show you their favorite exercise. Okay, so you do this with me. Take your index finger, right? You guys, index finger on your nose. Come on your nose. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, he's great.
This is the world's greatest antidepressant. I swear to God, this is the world's greatest antidepressant. You
really is.
laugh and you just feel better about everything, and that's the way it works.
Yeah.
So
Rachel, give everybody what you want to leave everybody with.
I think the important thing to know about our classes is that it combines movement and music, and music is such a powerful way of accessing emotions, as is dancing. And I think when you can combine the physical release with this imagistic and fluid, the power of music to heal, it's such a powerful combination. And then add that to a community that really connects on a very deep level in an hour. So it's the best medicine you could get for your mind, body, and spirit.
Oh, thank you.
Amen.
Catherine, you're up. What is the last thing you want to leave everybody with? What is the impression, and what do you want people to know?
I want people to come to the VCC, to the Virtual Community Center. I want people to come to agefriendlyri.org and start, taking a little tour around and seeing what we have to offer. Write a little form in our contact list and get on our mailing list, because every Friday we send out an email that's this week at the VCC, and we share the highlights of everything that's coming up and how you can join each of the programs. And I want people to really think about sharing any skills you have for getting on the computer with friends and relatives, old and young, who might be a little reluctant, or who might be reluctant to try some of this online community experience, just to try to get over that, because this has been really powerful for all of us who had access to it since the shutdown. And you can join some of these groups, and you can make a new friend, and you can really, you can laugh your way out of a really bleak day, and you can dance your way into, out of a really bleak day. So I just want people to come to the VCC and join us there.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
I just think, as someone who's hearing about it again, every time I hear about this program that Catherine is part of, I think it's an incredible gift, and incredibly innovative and generous what she is doing for our Rhode Island community. And I think it's a model for other states. And I think that we should, I don't know if you're already working towards that, but it should be something that other states model. It's really a gift. Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah. Well, just to let you know,
Rachel.
that RAMP. Yeah. Well, just to let you know that RAMP is national. It is a national organization. So anybody who sees this, they're seeing this nationally. So they're seeing what you're doing, and they're going to be able to reach out to all of you, and they're going to be able to connect. So that way we can help our neighbors in other states, and more people connect. Because I know there's a lot of families who are interstate families, you know what I mean? So this is another way of them doing activities together. There is another Facebook organization that I want to tell you guys about. It's called the Rhode Island Holiday Challenge. It is a Facebook page that you can post all of this stuff on this page. It's all about raising awareness for small businesses in Rhode Island. It's all about, making sure that we keep our money and promoting and helping Rhode Island organizations, Rhode Island nonprofits, Rhode Island small businesses. So it's called the Rhode Island Holiday Challenge. And I challenge all of you, post your stuff on there. Post your dance schedule, your laugh schedule, your age-friendly Rhode Island on there. Make sure people are going to that site as well, because it's just another way to get your name out there. Tag RAMP and everything that you guys do. We want to get your word out. If you tag RAMP, Real Access Motivates Progress, that is a national platform for you guys. You guys are welcome to tag it. And definitely, I know you guys all are part of our Red Bag Initiative, carrying all of your medical information on you at all times. It's non-tech based, so that way, no matter if there's a power outage or if there's any problems, the only one who sees what's in your red bag are the EMTs and the doctors who take care of you. So it works for everybody, whether you have an allergy, a drug addiction, or, simple stuff, or a huge medical list like I do. This red bag can save your life. Go to www.rampisinclusion.com and just click on the link and grab a bag. The bags are only $3, but we make nothing on these bags. We replenish our bags to send out more and more, and we also donate bags to the homeless, to the veterans, to the people who, can't afford them, and we help them fill them out. So make sure that you are doing that, and we want to make this part of age-friendly Rhode Island too, is we want to make sure that everybody who participates in your program, Catherine, becomes a red bag carrier in one way or another, and we need to make that happen. But I want to thank you all for joining me tonight. This just lifted my spirits today on a gloomy day that was raining and not raining. And Larry, your laughter just filled my heart tonight. So thank you so much.
Mine too.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you for everything.
Thank you guys all so much, and we will be in touch.
Yeah,
and like
thank you
I
for the
said,
opportunity.
tag RAMP and let us know what we can do to help, and that's what we're all here for. We are stronger together, and I want to take your laugh class, and I'm going to be taking your dance class in person when I can finally get there. And Catherine, whatever you need, you know how to reach out to me. But let's work on this together, guys, because we can change Rhode Island, and we can change Rhode Islanders' lives just by working together. So thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I will see you guys all soon. Have a great night, everybody. See you next week.
Thank
you, Tina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Larry, Rachel, too. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Larry
Bye-bye.
and Catherine. Bye.